Okay, today we're going to be reading The Stone That Ground Flour by Itself, adapted from an African folk tale. Long ago, there was a great famine. There was very little food for animals to eat. So a famine is a time where there is not much food for people or animals. It's not a good thing. Then one day, Kofi the spider was walking through the forest and came upon a stone. Turning the stone over, Kofi found that it ground flour all on its own. Delighted, Kofi sat down and enjoyed a fine meal for the first time in a long while. After he ate, he went home. Kofi did not want to be greedy. He wanted to share news of the stone with other animals. Each morning, Kofi returned to the forest and brought other animals with him. Together, they enjoyed a delightful meal. Soon, Kofi's cousin, Anansi the spider, learned of Kofi's flour grinding stone. He bothered Kofi for days asking where the stone could be found, but Kofi refused to tell him. He knew Anansi was a greedy trickster. If Anansi found the stone, he would want the flour all to himself. One night, Anansi snuck into Kofi's house. He cut a small hole in Kofi's bag and then filled it with ash. Anansi returned to his house and waited for morning. When Kofi woke up, he grabbed his bag and walked, as he always did, to the forest. Anansi followed the trail of ash that Kofi left behind. "Aha, I found you," Anansi declared to his cousin. "Anansi, I knew you'd trick me eventually. Come, enjoy breakfast with me, but then we must leave the stone," Kofi replied. After their meal, Anansi announced that he was taking the stone. Kofi tried to argue, but it was useless. Anansi placed the stone on his head and began to walk away. The stone realized what was happening and tried to stop Anansi. The stone told Anansi that every other animal had left it alone, but Anansi refused to listen. Anansi went back to his village and sold the flour to the villagers. His bag overflowed with money, but the stone did not like being used by Anansi. He decided to put an end to Anansi's greed. When Anansi placed the stone on his head to move to the next village, the stone went along. But then it refused to move from Anansi's head. As much as he tried, Anansi could not remove the stone. Soon, the weight of the stone crushed Anansi until he was completely covered. To this day, spiders are often found under large stones.